Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll talk to the founder of a revolutionary company that is helping families that are dealing with dementia. That's next. So millions of families across the country are dealing with dementia, and you can only imagine, the child worried about who mom or dad is talking to on the phone. Is it a scam artist? Are they unnecessarily dialing 911? I mean, those are all of the thoughts of the child or caregiver of somebody who's dealing with dementia or Alzheimer's. To talk about that, Tavis Schriefer. He is the founder of teleCalm, and you and I have known each other for years now, but this company was born of necessity. Tell us the story.
Well, so my wife and I were my mom's caregiver for about 6 years, and she was developing the early stages of dementia, and she did have a lot of problems with the phone. I'm from the telecom industry, and so this was something that I thought we could do something about, and that created the birth of telecalm.
Tell us what the company does.
So telecalm stops problem calls for families living with dementia. The family caregiver will sign up for our home phone service, and they can manage that service for their loved one remotely using a smartphone app. And it'll stop things like late night calling, repeat dialing, inappropriate 911 calling. Plus, it only allows calls from trusted contacts, both incoming and outgoing. So it helps them keep the phone longer.
Yes, and you just created a wonderful commercial. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
My mom has dementia. Life before telecom was stressful. Mom was calling friends, neighbors, 911 unnecessarily.
Telecalm phone service is for seniors with dementia living at home or senior living communities. Telecalm stops late night, repeated, and unwanted outgoing calls.
Just gives us still peace of mind so that if she needs to reach out to us, she can.
Learn more at telecalmprotects.com.
And we should point out those were not actors. That was a real family that you're helping.
That's exactly right. They were one of our earliest families and stayed with us for quite a while here in a senior living in Irving. Yeah.
And so you were telling me before the show went on that you spend a lot of time on the phone, almost as a therapist, right? Everybody who calls you thinks they're the only one who's dealing with this.
Yes. I mean, so, it's not just the service we provide, it's the customer service we provide as well. These families have an experience with us that they don't have with AT&T or any regular phone company. All of our support team have been caregivers themselves, and so we can relate to the problems they're going through and help them figure out what the best solution is.
So how does it work? Does it work with cell phones? Is it just home phones? How does it work?
Well, today it is just home phones. It's a home phone replacement service. So we can provide the service whether they live in a senior living or in their private homes. And that service can go in there. It doesn't use the senior living's phone wiring, doesn't use their internet even. But we can provide that phone service. The family can manage it remotely from other states even.
Yeah, I know in past we've talked about scammers, and that's always something. I mean, I think there's just a special place in Hades for people who would take advantage of a person with dementia, but it happens a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It's $36 billion a year being defrauded from seniors. Unfortunately, 18% of that is actually family members or ex-paid caregivers or friends. So it's not just that random call you get from overseas.
Yeah, and so all of those scam artists, they cannot reach a person who's using telecom.
That's right. We take a totally different approach from most robocall preventers. We assume everyone's a bad guy, and it is up to the family members to add trusted contacts into our app, and those are the only calls that reach their loved one. It's also the only calls that the loved one can call out to if that is a problem as well.
Wow. But how much does the service cost?
So the service is competitively priced. It's actually $50 a month,
Wow.
$49.99, and it includes the phone service itself. It includes all long distance, and we are a month-to-month service because, as we know, in these situations, you don't need any long-term commitments.
Yeah, and I would think that the peace of mind for the caregiver, $50 a month, is a small price to pay.
It is a no-brainer. I mean, people tell us all the time, "Oh, that's a great price."
Tell us about COVID-19. I would be remiss if I didn't ask about that. I mean, as an entrepreneur, did COVID-19 impact you?
It absolutely impacted us, but not necessarily in the way it impacted others. With us, we're in over 260 senior livings, and senior livings closed off from visitation. Even today, they're just now starting to open up. So a lot of people turned to teleCalm because it was a way for them to still stay in touch with their loved ones when they couldn't visit them.
Outstanding. We've only got a couple minutes left, so final thoughts. What would you like to leave the audience with?
Well, I'd like to say that, a lot of us were so hooked on our cell phones, we don't even think about landlines. But this is what people, the baby boomers and above, this is what they grew up with. I mean, I grew up with a landline phone. So when they start having dementia and the cell phone becomes overly confusing, there is another answer. They will remember how to use landline phones for significantly longer, and it can solve the problems and the pain points that they're having.
It's got to be very rewarding. I'm sure you get calls from family members that are thanking you for this service.
We do. We have a 97% customer satisfaction rating that we've maintained for years. And I mean, people subscribe to our service and they stay with us until their loved one just can't use a phone anymore.
Wow. Well, thank you for your service and the peace of mind you're providing so many people.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
We're going to end with the website so people can get in touch. It's telecomprotects.com is the website. Tavis, thank you for coming on the show. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.